There ought to be a direction somewhere.
Ron, are we not gonna have election of officers?
Yeah, it's on, actually, it's in the agenda on the first page.
We're at them.
Hey, Ron, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long
Yes,
time.
it has been on.
Ron, I don't see the election of officers.
It's on the agenda as the first
This
item.
is the agenda.
It's on the page.
Okay, I see by the clock on the wall, it is 8:30. So we'll call this January 27th meeting of Lawrence County Solid Waste Management District to order. Excuse me. I'd really like to amend the agenda to start off with the election of officers. Any objections to that?
I agree.
You agree? Okay. So I would open the floor to nominations for chairman, chairperson of the Solid Waste District.
Well, not everybody jumping at once, but I would move to make Larry Hartman president of the board. He's very knowledgeable. So,
Okay. We have a nomination?
I'll move to move Jeff McKnight.
Okay. Now, that makes it more difficult, so. Brent, how do we handle two nominations for the same office? Will you vote individually, or?
You would, well, once the nominations are closed, then you would have it by ballot. Both on the same ballot, just see who gets the most.
Yeah.
And it's up to the chairman to determine whether the ballots be secret or if it's
Yeah,
not.
okay, thank you. Any other nominations? So I will, we'll just do it by show of hands. How's that?
You want a nomination to be closed?
Yes,
I'll make that motion.
okay. We have a motion, do we have a second to
A
close?
second.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion about the nominations? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of closing nominations signify by saying aye. Aye. And the motion carries. Okay. So I will just do it as simply as I know how to do it. All those in favor of Larry Hardman, please signify by raising your hand. And all those in favor of just Jeff McKnight, same sign. Okay, well, but Mr. Hardman is not here, so we'll go to, I'm assuming he'll accept that. We'll hope he does. Vice chairperson. The nominations are open for vice chairperson.
I'll nominate Wally Brown.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the nominations.
So there's
So moved. Have a
Second.
second. Further discussion? All those in favor of closing the nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the nominations are closed. So by acclamation, I assume then that Wally Branham will be the vice chairman. And since Mr. Hardman is not present, Mr. Branham, you can take over for the rest of the meeting.
I can.
You're welcome, buddy. You're welcome, buddy.
Anytime. I'm used to it. Okay. Now that we have the nominations, new officer's been elected, it's up to the board director to give us your report.
We'll start off with approval of the previous minutes,
I move the minutes be approved as presented.
I'll second that.
I have a motion to approve. Can you second, Jeff?
Yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sound. Hearing none, motion passes.
Okay, claims, for the claims, I want to point out something before we approve those. We do have a claim on there for our Parker Group. You can see that's $52,192. And that's the annual premium for the policy that we just renewed. And within our agenda here, we're going to be discussing that current policy and also discussing a proposal we received from Tucker Insurance Group. So, from my understanding from Parker Group, if we were to decide to cancel our insurance policy with them, we would still have to pay their full premium, and then they would prorate that back based on the actual days of coverage from the day it renewed to cancellation. I don't know, there may be some differences in what we may or may not need to do there as far as they're claiming we need to pay that even if we do cancel it. So before we approve that, I just wanted to let you know that is going to be, it's probably a board decision on what you're going to want to do there. But again, our group says that since we've renewed it, we pay it, and then they'll reimburse us back on a return premium based on if we do end up canceling it when that cancellation is effective. So we could approve this, but then again, I guess when we get into further discussions here, if the board changes their mind on something, there we can always do that. So
I do have a question. What's the expiration date again?
Well, it expired on the 22nd, so we renewed, so it is effective now. So from 22nd, let's say you happen to cancel it today, then you have 5 days. That would be pro-rata, so.
I think probably there's a clause in there that we can, in 30 days in advance, we can notify in writing and it automatically goes back. I think there is. I don't know that. I haven't read it for a while, so.
Yeah, I don't know, Brent,
She said the other day in the phone, you and I were on a conference call, representative from the Parker Agency said that we could cancel at any time. She didn't mention anything about a 30-day notice. She said there wouldn't be a cancellation penalty,
Okay.
and they would reimburse what we had used.
Okay.
So it was a clean break, I thought.
yeah, that's what I understood, and then I asked our representative there at Parker Group specifically, you know, you got no cancellation penalties or fees, but then there's what they call the prorated, you know, once you cancel, when I asked, you know, how's that going to be done, what formula are you using, and I offered an example of saying, like, if our annual cost was to say $38,905, divide that by 365 days, that's your daily rate, and then just multiply that, how many days we've actually had coverage. And she said that she had talked to the insurance company, and they said that they confirmed that's how that calculation would be done. So I just got that message this morning from her. So the question is, you know, again, they're saying that we have to pay it up front, and then, you know, once we cancel, then they'll reimburse us that. So that's what that claim is in there for, so.
Is, and this might be a question for Brent or the gentleman back here. As I understand it, you guys actually bound coverage from the 22nd already?
You can.
Is that what I understood?
I agreed to bind coverage if you guys decide to go with us on the 22nd, which should eliminate your payments if you, the 5 days or whatever, because we will have to provide them a policy showing that you went into effect on the 22nd. Now, I can't speak on what exactly Parker's and their, I mean, if it's 5 days, I mean, I want to say that's not much money. I don't know what it is divided by the 365 off the top of my head. The main concern I had was it being earned premium. And Parker's have confirmed it's not earned premium, which a lot of carriers will put 25% earned premium on there, which would be 25% of the annual pay. From my understanding, what they have told Ron, that is not the case, which is a good thing. If you do decide to switch over to us, then you will not have that. And like I say, I'm very confident we can get the 5 days that they're trying to say that you renewed with them. I'm very confident that you will not owe anything there. Because Melissa McKnight said that they can backdate that and be effective on the 22nd, when the other expired.
I can understand the backdating, but I would say Parker Group is still going to say they covered the insurance for 5 days, they're going to be entitled to those fees, whatever
Yeah.
those fees would be.
Yeah.
Because they actually had that in place. So I guess my next question is going to be, we're talking about this, it's going to be figured on a daily price as far as to 5 days or 10 days as to what we've been told. But I take it you've got this verified and this is in writing and documented that that's what it actually is going to be if there's any further discussion.
Yes, I got an email from Parker Group from Holly this morning, and I previously sent a message asking, you know, what that formula calculation would be. I was never giving that, but I set an example to her saying, well, our annual premium is $38,905, and our coverage, let's say, was a total of 6 days, you know, by the time we canceled it. Divide $38,905 by 365, that's $106.59 per day, and then $106.59 times 6 is $639.54. In this case, if we paid them, and then they would have a return premium, minus that 639.54, so probably around 38,256.46. And then the email I got back from her today says the insurance carrier reviewed your calculation, confirmed this is how the cancellation would be calculated.
Say that again, I didn't hear you.
The insurance carrier reviewed your calculation and confirmed this is how the calculation would be calculated. So I posed an example of asking them, is this how it would be done as far as prorated? And I mentioned that our annual premium was $38,905, and that if we canceled after 6 days, would we divide that, divide the $38,905 by 365 days
I heard that.
and multiply that amount times 6 days? And her response was, the package carrier will cancel and return the premium prorated, so your calculation appears to be correct, but will be determined by the pro rata calculation provided by the insurance company. And then the next email I sent, will the package insurance carrier provide you with information that explains how they do that calculation? And then, basically, there was a few other emails, and then at the last one was the insurance carrier reviewed your calculation and confirmed this is how the calculation would be calculated.
One of the, excuse me. Mr.
Go ahead.
One of the things that comes into my mind is, by this being due on the 22nd of January, many years, that's going to precede our January meeting. And personally, I would prefer that the inception date or the beginning of the policy be the first week in February, whatever day is appropriate. So if we're paying $106 a day or whatever to Parker Group to continue this policy until the 1st of February, then we don't go through the same issue next year or in the oncoming years of having to deal with this before the management district meeting. Either that or we're going to have to do it in December, which I think that's a little bit early. So it wouldn't bother me to see us go ahead and keep Parker Group as our current coverage agency until whatever day you want to pick, 1st of February, and then we can address these issues in our January meeting and not be doing it the way we're doing it right now.
I would entertain that in the form of a motion.
We already decided that we're going to switch.
No,
Well, we haven't voted.
No.
I mean,
Well, I don't know if there's any need to make this motion until we
It's
decide if
it's
we're
probably,
going to switch or not.
okay.
Yeah.
Once we decide we're going to switch, then I agree.
I didn't make it in the form of a motion.
Right.
I was putting
I understand.
an idea out
But
there.
I think we need to decide if we're switching before we go to ask for a motion.
Excellent. Good idea.
So do we want to go, as far as the claims, do we want to?
We still have this claims issue.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pay this money no matter if you change or not. They have to have their payment. So
Right.
I think approving this is, what's on paper has to be done. Now, in the next step, whenever you decide to switch or not, if you're going to come up with the extra money to pay for the other carrier until you get this money back, which is another issue
Right.
later, so.
Well,
Until the process
Part
actually
of-
takes place.
part of what I was saying is, I would prefer that their policy not go into effect.
Right.
If they've already bound us, I'm sorry, I can't help that, but I would really rather the beginning date not be in January. Because we're always meeting, if I'm not mistaken, the 3rd or 4th week of January.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims. Second.
I have a motion
Second.
and I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sound. Hearing none, motion passes.
and turn over to page 7 on your agenda. Well, item B there is the insurance that we're talking about. The district's current policy through Parker Group was renewed. The policy period is January 22nd this year through January 22nd of 2027. And so today, it's about, what I'm asking the board is, to discuss our current coverage through Parker Group and consider a proposal submitted by Tucker Insurance Group for insurance coverage. In the event, if we did decide to make that change, of course, we would have to cancel, as we just discussed, to do that. And each of your exhibits that you have, there's Exhibit A and B. Exhibit A is your Parker Group coverages. Exhibit B is the proposal submitted by Tucker Insurance Group. And then Exhibit C is just basically the renewal summary for workers' comp. So I'll start off with the annual premiums. The annual premium for our current policy for Parker Group is $38,905. And this, again, this is on page 7 of your agenda. And then the proposal that Tucker Insurance Group sent us is $33,558. So you can see there's a difference there. One of the questions I had is if we canceled through Parker Group, would there be any cancellation penalties or fees? According to Parker Group representative, there would be no early cancellation penalties or fees if the package policy would cancel early. However, according to Parker Group, the district will have to pay that full premium initially. After that, the package insurance carrier receives the annual premium, the carrier will then cancel and return their premium will be prorated. And again, this will be determined by the prorated calculation provided by the insurance company. And as I confirmed with an email today, is that she was saying that the carrier indicated that the calculation I used would be the calculation that they would use. Or, yeah. The district, so let's go ahead and turn over to page 8. So that was the package policy, which covers pretty well all of our liability or automobile, inland marine, crime, and all that types of insurance. The second part of this is our workers' compensation insurance. That amount was not included in that premium I gave you. The district's current workers' comp coverage is through Parker Group Insurance. That company is IPEP. Again, its policy period is January 22nd of this year to January 22nd of 2027. And Exhibit C is just a renewal summary that was submitted by Parker Group Insurance. Tucker Insurance Group did not submit a proposal for that, but I do want to point out that according to the Tucker Insurance Group, is that if the district go with them, basically, they could transfer that underneath them, if that's correct.
That's correct. Yep.
So it'd still be under IPEP, and then there would be no, let's see, we would just sign a form and we'd be transferred over. In either case, it would be through IPEP. And then would the fees, annual fees still be, the annual premium still be the same amount?
Everything is exactly the same.
Okay, so everything would just kind of fall under Tucker Insurance Group. So my question is, if the district cancels the workers' comp insurance through Parker Group, will there be any cancellation penalties or fees? You want to go ahead and...
Yeah, I'll elaborate on that. There would be no cancellation of the workers' comp.
So we
It
would...
just transfers over, nothing. You don't cancel, there's no fees, nothing. It's
It's
your-
just the difference in the agency of record.
It's correct.
Yeah, so if we were going to pay this full premium to Parker Group, then I guess my question is, will we just leave out paying them the 13 as one comp being a separate thing, and just paid in the 38,905. And we would not tell Parker that we would be canceling, we would just be transferring that underneath this different insurance agent, is what I understand. Now, when I spoke, when I communicated with Holly at Parker Group, now this, their response was, they were waiting to hear back from their IPEP on how to handle the work comp cancellation. Again, outside of what we just explained, according to Parker Group representative, the workers' comp carriers typically perform an audit of the enforced policy and apply short rate penalties to short-term cancellations. And again, on the other hand, according to Tucker Insurance Group, if the district decided to switch the work comp insurance to Tucker Insurance Group, the district would sign a form and the work comp insurance coverage through IPEP would be transferred over to Tucker Group. There would be no penalty or extra cost to do so. So, again, it sounds to me that there probably wouldn't be because you're not really doing any cancellation there. But I just wanted you to know what Parker Group informed me of, so I just want to have that out there. The workers' comp annual premium through Parker Group is $13,287. And again, this would be the same under Tucker.
Exactly the same.
Still through IPEP. So if you look at the bottom of page 8, so if you look at the combined total annual premiums, Parker Group is $52,192, and then Tucker Insurance Group would be $46,845. So you can see there's a difference there in the actual premiums. The coverage, Jeff, you may be able to answer some of that question, but I think the main thing was the liability coverage. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Everything else, I believe, is very much the same. It's the Parker bunch has $1 million per occurrence, $3 million aggregate blanket, if you will, and the Tucker Group is a $5 million per occurrence with a $10 million aggregate.
So it's a
So
Parker
it's
Group.
significantly more liability insurance.
Parker Group, that we do have an excess umbrella. I'm not sure how that connects. We got general liability, is what he just mentioned, and Parker Group has an umbrella over that, which is 5 single occurrence, 5 aggregate. So I assume that would add to that base general liability of the 1 million and 3 million aggregate. So.
Then I think does that not trigger extra deductible when you're broaching more than one part of the policy?
It will put 2 claims. If you get into your umbrella, it'll put 2 claims, and it's subject to 2 deductibles, whatever the deductible may be.
Yeah, and it may do that. So you're looking at Parker, if you include the excess, it would be 6, 8, and then I think Tucker would be 5 and 10, right? Does that sound right?
Yeah, the thing is, any claim you had, you're going off, you're deducting from your aggregate limit too.
Okay.
So you've got 3 there, where we have 10. On your aggregate limits. Say you have 2 bad claims in a 365-day period, your aggregate limit with Parker Group is 3 million, where ours is 10. Across all lines of business.
So, as far as that difference, again, $52,192 annual premium for Parker Group is where we're at now. Our current insurance, Tucker Insurance Group, $46,845.
For a difference of $5,347.
Right. So, I'd entertain a motion to decide whether we go with Tucker or Parker Group, pending the date we pick in February to start the new policy. Am I right?
That's my preference.
Go ahead.
So I understand this right, as far as to the work comp premium, Parker Group and Tucker is identical?
Yeah, Parker Group submitted a new proposal to us. Tucker Insurance Group, when they submitted it, they did not have one. If you want to explain.
We basically didn't have enough time to get a work comp back due to, I mean, you guys have some claims on your comp, and that takes the underwriters a little bit longer to get through all that. And I did confirm with ITEP that there would be no whatever premium earned from Parker if there was a switch. I talked to the field rep who talked to IPAD, and they said we're all good there.
So we have nothing in writing about workman's comp?
We have nothing, I personally have nothing in writing. I called the field rep who I deal with, all the work comp with, his name's Eric Ackerman. He lives in Lagodi, and he's been doing it for 50 years, 40 years, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he has went to them, and it's just like any other agent of record that we've ever signed. There's no additional.
Yeah.
If you're just transferring it from agency to agency, there's never been a premium.
Yeah.
Additional premium.
Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, so if the premiums are the same, is there any benefit switching from Parker Group to Tucker for the work comp premium?
I don't know there's no difference financially. The only difference would be the fact that you're gonna have two agencies involved rather than just one.
Right. Well, I guess that brings up my question. If we're only with Parker Group, or if, I guess it's just a department thing, if you want to work with two different entities, from that standpoint. I mean, that's my question. Before we vote on the other, from the standpoint Parker Group initially did it, I mean, I understand saving money, but yet if there's not a downside to it, then it's very easy to come in and bid something after someone else has already bid it,
Right.
from that standpoint. So I guess that's my question is, if we feel like, and I can't answer that question, that's why I'm asking, from the board, from the standpoint, if we want to change Parker to Tucker, even though there's not any difference in premium, as long as the information we're receiving is there is no penalty for switching. Well, I guess my next question, I'm just curious, was Parker Group invited to know that this was being discussed to be here today?
I don't, they knew we had a board meeting, we're gonna make this decision, that yes, absolutely, they knew it was going to be discussed.
All right. Thank you.
Can I add something along this?
Go ahead, Tyler.
We do at Tucker's, we offer a system called Xywave that can help you with risk management. That I know us at Tucker, it's a $80,000 a year program that helps with risk management and stuff. I can get you guys a login to help maybe try to prevent some of these workers' comp claims. I mean, so we do offer some things. I don't know if Parker Group does this or not, but we offer a system free of charge to all of our clients that can get in there and maybe it can help you guys maybe prevent some of this stuff from happening. So that's one thing that we do where we're at as well, the risk management things.
So, let's see if I've got this right in my mind. Do we want to leave that to where the department decides if they want to work with two different insurance entities? Is exactly what it sounds like to me. Or do we want to stay with Parker Group where one person handles both things? And it may be one person too with you, but it sounds like two different groups. And with insurance, it seems to be extremely touchy in this day and age. So,
Either way, it's two separate companies. Either way, it's two separate companies that actually has the insurance.
Right.
Either
Go ahead,
way.
Brent, you got something?
I do have a question when the time comes.
Okay. So, are we entertaining a motion, or are we,
Can I ask a question for you?
you certainly can.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess the question would be to Tucker, you're with Tucker, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, you got a 2-year statute of limitations on tort cases. So we have an accident with one of our machines that hurts someone. And that was in December, or we'll say 2025. We switched, when we were with Parker, we switched to Tucker. A year later, the lawsuit is filed. Who's responsible for the coverage? Tucker or Parker?
Very good question. Very good question. The way I understand it is this situation was just brought up. The way I understand it, and I will get you confirmation on this, but Bliss McKnight would pick that up because you have transferred it to them. That's the way Bliss McKnight explained it to us. Remember this question?
Yeah, I remember us talking about it, just to make sure they understand. Bliss McKnight is
This is with me, I'm sorry.
It's with Tucker Insurance Group, is who they go through to this insurance.
That was our proposal, was with Bliss McKnight, that was the carrier. So, we just had this conversation, we sat down with Ron the other day and kind of went over some things. I personally thought it was the other way, as far as Partner Group and their carrier would pick it up. Bliss McKnight told us the other day that it would be them transferring that risk. I will get that in writing.
I would too.
Yeah.
So that is my best answer as of right now. But I will get more, I will send an email and get it in writing from Bliss McKnight. I'm sure that's not exactly what you wanted. So I will say that Bliss McKnight is saying that they would be responsible for that claim.
So, I don't know do we want to table this? Do you think, I mean, we have just paid the premium that's going to cover us and take care of us for another 30 days. So do we pay this, or do we table this so that until such time as we actually understand exactly how that's going to work? Or do you want to make that decision today in the form of a motion? I'm open for suggestions.
I'm gonna make the motion to table it, that way he can produce this paperwork for you. Because right now, there's nothing in writing. I'm gonna make the motion to table.
Okay, I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sound. Hearing none, motion passes. We'll discuss this at the next district meeting. We need a confirmation on the workman's comp thing. We need that brought before us on paper. And I think that's the biggest issue. Am I right?
I'm sorry, you were talking about the workman's comp.
I'm talking about anything. Well, I don't mean everything.
The liability.
Your statute of limitations on workman's comp is a little different than on general liability, but, kid none's dead, but, as lawsuit firms still exist, and, they got a 2-year period of time to file a claim. You can have a claim accrued and not even know about it.
Correct.
You thought it was a fender bender, or you thought it was a this, or you thought it was a that, and they think it's much bigger than that. The next thing you know, you're getting a demand letter to you. Well, the claim accrued under a different policy coverage, but it's gonna ripen into a existence under new coverage. So you got a gap. Used to, historically, Parker Group would be responsible for that because it accrued underneath their time of coverage, but a lot of times insurance companies will fight you on that, they'll say, well, you switched. So, I need clarification on that. It'd be nice if the Parker Group Insurance Company, what did you say his name was?
Bless McNutt.
Well, that they recover it.
Yes.
But I'd want that in black and white.
Okay, so the workers' comp, we would definitely, because it's the same carrier, we would just take care of
I
that.
wouldn't worry about that much, it's the other.
Now, on the general liability, I don't think you guys have had any claims in over 2 years.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have, historically, you haven't had any,
Right.
but what if one's out there and you don't know about it? That's my point.
Okay.
I went in there to your recycling center and you had a sharp piece of metal on that bin. When I threw that, you saying there, you can throw the bottles, but don't put your bags in there. And as I pulled my hand back, it ripped my hand open.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, or I slipped and fell, or I did this, or I did that. You don't know what's out there. You don't know what you don't know, as the old saying goes, until you know it. And so I would want some clarification from the company what's going to happen. If that happens, it's highly unlikely. But every time you think it's not going to happen, oh, that will happen, it will.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get that in writing, but that is what he told us, sitting down, him and I, that
Yeah.
Bliss McKnight would cover that.
Okay, so
Let us see it. Bring it to
No,
us.
it didn't matter. The spoken word vanishes, the written word lasts forever.
So we'll bring this up at the next district meeting, and so you've got the floor again.
All right, and just to follow up, at our last meeting, we talked about changing the sign there at the recycling center. I did get, we were on Friday, another proposal, a Michael sign. Just haven't had a chance to really look at that. I want to make sure I know exactly comparison and stuff, and I'll just plan on bringing it in at the next meeting to discuss that, so we'll have two proposals. And then one other thing, the firewood processor is in use. Communications is using it. I did see a good article on WBIW speaking of, that use and that it's being given out to the township trustees. And I believe it's been a really good partnership and an interlocal agreement between us and them. So it's working out really well.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you, Ron. Okay, next thing, controller report. Nothing?
There is an issue.
Go ahead.
As former president of the group, I was authorized to stop down at the office and sign claims that were due prior to our next meeting. So I don't care to continue to do that, or Mr. Hardman wants to do it, or whoever, but that needs to be.
He can designate someone to do that, although Ed Wynn and I have talked about that. We may see if it'll workable through that DocuSign in a different way. We may try that in it with a different way. So Larry can, whether it's himself or designate somebody, or we try it through DocuSign with Larry, or we can figure that out. So.
I actually came in and signed while you were off with a little touch of the flu, so. I don't mind. Yeah,
Well, but I think formally it needs to be designated.
okay.
I don't think just any one of us goes in and signs a claim without board authorization is not quite.
We wanna wait for Larry?
That's fine.
I
That's
think
fine.
we might, go ahead,
The way
Sam.
our resolution is written, I believe that the board chairperson himself can just designate someone.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
The only question was, is there going to be claims that need to be signed between
That's what I
now?
was gonna say, there's gonna be
There will be.
utility bills before
Good point.
So we need to designate somebody until Larry's here to go ahead and continue to do that.
I'd entertain a motion.
I would move that Wally Branham be authorized to sign the interim claims.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sound. Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. Okay. Now we good? Okay. Old business. New business. Any public comment? Nothing, Larry? I move to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.